All right, a couple things. First of all, I realized I was missing an earring. Somewhere got lost today. And sorry my hair's a mess, but that's just the life of an artist, you know? You should see me in the summertime. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about the additive process because I've been getting a couple of emails about that. So like if you have an area that needs to be built up on your creature, so maybe it needs to be wider at the bottom and you need to give it some fluff, or maybe when you attached your legs or attached your arms, it looks weird, so you need to build that area up. So you're going to need to do the additive process. I need to do that right here in the mouth section of my guy because right now it's just flat. So that's what I'm going to do here in this video, is kind of show you the additive process. It's not really that difficult. You just got to make sure that you're compressing your clay because you don't want to create an air pocket, okay? And you want to make sure you're staying underneath that 1/2 inch mark of thickness in regards to clay. So you do have to kind of pay attention to how much clay you're adding at a time. And then of course if you add too much or you need it to look a certain way and you're gonna go back in and do the subtractive process, that's fine too. You just gotta do that a little bit later. So I'm gonna do the best I can in showing you this. I don't know how I'm gonna do the camera angle, so we'll figure it out. But my light keeps going off. I don't know if there's a short in it or what, but I don't know what keeps happening. I'm gonna turn it on, but I have a feeling it's gonna turn back off. I'll have to fix it tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna build up this area right here on my nose face area. So I'm gonna take some clay and I'm gonna sculpt it, and there goes my light again, see? I don't know what's happening. Maybe, I don't know, my light bulb can't be out. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But I'm just making a coil and I'm gonna add it right here in this area where I showed you. But I kind of need my eye as a reference point that I made earlier. This is still way too wet, but because I need to know where I'm gonna put that mouth and my eyes. So remember, you're building a 3-dimensional form. So I'm just kind of marking where I think I'm gonna want my other eyeballs. Now my monster alien was influenced by a fish, so I want to kind of stay true to that. So I want my eyes further on the outside, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I just kind of marked that. So I know where my eyes are going to be. Do a little bit better job. It probably gets smoothed out, but at least I know where they're going to be in general, I guess. Okay. Should have marked where that nose section was going to be. Let's drop it down. About right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this where I'm putting it. And then I'm going to score and slip these areas. Especially my form, this section, because this has been built for a while. So I know that it doesn't have enough moisture in it just to stick that on there. So then of course I'm going to score. And then I'm going to compress this. Okay. So this is the start of the additive process, right? It doesn't look like anything. Make sure it's in the right spot though. Move that over a little bit. It doesn't look like anything. It just looks like a lump of clay, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth this out. I don't need to add a coil because I can use the thickness from the clay. But really make sure that this is compressed in this area because you don't want to trap air there. So some of you were asking me earlier today kind of how to do like a hair effect. So you could do it the same way. Just add chunks of clay where you need it and then smooth it onto the body just like I'm doing right now. I might add some hair to mine. So, I mean, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Okay, so now I've got like this kind of situation happening. So now I'm gonna pull this side down I'm just gonna kind of reshape this until I get it to how I want it to look. And maybe I didn't add enough clay, so maybe I might have to add some more. But just make sure that you're smoothing it in enough that you can't see where it was joined. So like, sorry, that wasn't in the screen. So like right in here, I can see that area. So I want to keep compressing that. And if I need to add another small coil right there, maybe I will. But we really shouldn't be able to see where your connection point is between that area you just added. So you can't really see it right here. And that's what we want. I'm just smoothing that out, guys. That's all I'm doing. Sorry. It's getting out of the screen. It's like I need a camera on top and a camera on the side. So I'm gonna go in with my sponge and I'm gonna smooth this and see what it looks like. See, I told you my eye marks would get smoothed out. Okay. So that looks much more like what I wanted it to have. I wanted that nose, lip. It doesn't really have a nose, I guess. It's like his lip area. So I'm gonna let that set up because in my drawing, I've got it split right there in the middle. Now I could add, you know, a piece here and a piece here and then keep it separated, which I might, you know, I'm gonna do that just so you guys can see the effect that it does. So I could wait till this is dry and I could carve that line for the lip, but since I'm making a three-dimensional item, I always like it to match that. I'm just trying to decide if that's protruding enough. I think it is, but you know, because he's got fish lips, so we don't want him sticking way far out, but and trust me, I look at a lot of fish. So kind of know what they look like. I think maybe I want it to stick out a little bit more on this bottom section. So, you know what, when I add this next section with that seam in the middle, that'll fix that. So I'm gonna get a little more clay. I'm gonna make 2 coils. I'm gonna make a coil for the top lip and the bottom lip. So I did the additive process, so now it's sticking out further, and now I'm gonna add that lip area. So I'm gonna take a coil, clay, I've already wedged it, and I'm gonna make some coils. Okay. I don't really know the thickness that I want them yet. I know I don't want them super thick, but I don't want them super skinny either. So I'm just gonna make a couple and kind of play with it. Just kind of mockly put it on there, it might fall off, but let's see. So see, that's gonna represent the top and the bottom lip. I don't want them that thick, so I'm gonna make them a little bit thinner. Now, if you are making lips and you want to make it thicker, you absolutely feel free to do that. And I like to get this as smooth as possible before I attach it. And I know it's not going to be that long, but just rolling out a coil. Ah! Okay. So now let me I'll turn it back on the camera here in a second. And I don't want my mouth to go all the way to my eyes, so I'm gonna extend this further than I think I'm gonna need it. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so that's much thinner and that gives me more the look that I wanted. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna smooth only, I'm gonna score and slip, but then I'm gonna smooth only this top half of the coil onto the head of my body, and then I'm gonna smooth in the bottom coil into kind of more of the belly area. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do next. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this whole thing. I don't think they're gonna be that long, but I can always get rid of that later. But just in case, I'm just gonna kind of mark this where I have it. Oh, you know what? I might be able to keep these together because they're so sticky. There we go. So then I'm gonna slip and score here. And sometimes I use my paintbrush and sometimes I don't. It depends. Okay, and then we're gonna score. Make sure your scoring marks are close enough together and you've done enough of them so they're effective. And I'm not gonna worry about scoring those coils, but I am gonna put some slip on there. Just because this clay is a little bit more dry. All right. And I'm just kind of pushing those coils on there, not flattening them, because I don't want them to be flat. I want them to keep their roundness. Okay, so I've got something like that. Trying to compress it. And now, use my modeling tool. And I'm gonna pull the top half of the coil onto the body. And don't pull too much or else you'll lose the coil that you made. But just like any of your other attachments, we don't want to be able to see where that's attached. So if you can only pull so much, you can add clay on this top section to attach it even more. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom section. So he's looking more attached. Just pulling that clay on the bottom half. And you can use your fingertip for this if you want. You don't have to use the modeling tool. You just need a way to pull that clay down. Like so. And then I usually go back through with my finger. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this side. And those lips stick out a little bit further than I think I anticipated, but that's okay. I'm going to I'll smooth in these sides, but I'm going to wait until I do know exactly where I want to put my eyes. So now I'm going to go in with my paintbrush because that's such a small area. If you can use your sponge, that's fine. I'll probably use my sponge in a second here. But I'm not going to smooth that because that's going to be my separation of my lips on my alien. And if you lost that separation between the two coils, don't worry about it if it's gone a little bit. We'll get it back when the clay gets a little bit harder, but for now, this is good. So now I've built that area up, and my next step is gonna be to apply my eyes, Or tomorrow I may even wait for that and go ahead and attach my arms in my top eyeball. That way you can kind of see the progress that I've made. So yeah, so that's the additive process. I'm sure I will show that again as we go throughout the process. When I attach my arms, I want to build that area up too. So just keep watching, scan through the videos, and use your inferencing skills. Just like in class, and I tell you this all the time, I can't go through every single possible scenario that you could be in, because the videos would be endless, and there's just too many different things that could go wrong or that you might need to know. So in general, just remember the rules. Wherever the two pieces of clay are touching, slip and score the seam, add a coil, smooth it out. If it's over an inch thick, you need to hollow it. If you hollow anything, you also have to hollow the main form, cut a hole wherever that attachment point is going to be, or else you have caused an air pocket. Super important, guys. But if you can follow those steps, you're going to be perfectly fine. And then just always make sure you're compressing and smoothing as you go through the process, so you don't have any maybe cracks and crumbs. So stay tuned, and we'll get to the next video.